Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Dragon Warrior 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Last episode, Prince Hermes explored Alefgard, the land that his ancestor, Chicken, freed from the clutches of the evil Dragonlord. A lot has changed in the basically 100 years since Chicken defeated the Dragonlord. One thing that hasn't changed is the Dragonlord's old castle is still there. So it's time for Prince Hermes and his two cousins to explore the castle. I'm going to approach from the left side there, because then only Prince Hermes is going to take the 2 damage from walking through the swamp. Save some hit points because we have some tough enemies in this location. So the first floor here is different, but once we get down into the next floor, the layout is going to look very similar to Veterans of Dragon Warrior 1. It's no longer like a castle, but it's a cave, but the layout is similar to the one in Dragon Warrior 1. So if you can know your way around the Dragonlord's castle in Dragon Warrior 1, you'll be able to get around this one here. So, although there are some enemies that will make it pretty dangerous. Like I said, we have some tough enemies in here, including these guys, the dragonflies. What makes them difficult is they have a fire breath attack that hits everyone in your party. And because it's a skill, you can't use the stop spell to block it like you could block the fireballs of like magicians and sorcerers. So yeah, the only way to reduce damage with this is later on there'll be some armors that reduce magic and breath attacks. But until then, we just gotta take the damage as it comes. So and heal up after each battle. So you want to keep our hit points pretty high because we can run into some of those saber lions or saber tigers, and they can hit pretty hard. So just want to be safe. Saber lion is an updated saber tiger. So here's another annoying enemy, the Gorgons. What makes them annoying is they can cast the increase spell on themselves, and that raises their defense. They can raise their defense up to a point where you won't be able to hurt them unless you get a critical hit on them. And you might think, well, just use magic on them. The problem is attack magic, like your Fireball, the Inferno spell, or even the Wizard Wand that Alyssa has. Damage magic, the Gorgons have an 86% chance to block it. So, they do have a really low chance of avoiding sleep, though, only 14%. So it's possible to put them to sleep so they don't cast that increase spell on themselves. If they do cast increase on themselves, if we were a few levels higher, we'd eventually have a spell called defense, and that would counter the increase spell. But we don't have that right now, so we just gotta be hope we're lucky, and there it is. They cast the increase spell. So even though that one Gorgon is asleep, it's still gonna get the benefit of the spell. So we just gotta hope that they don't cast it anymore. Otherwise, we won't be able to hurt them unless we get like critical hits, and critical hits are very low. So, and there they are, casting sleep themselves. So, put them to sleep, and hopefully, like I said, we finish them off with our weapons. So. You'll get to a point where you know you won't be able to damage them anymore because they'll just basically saying that like you're hitting them for like 1 damage, just like if you were fighting one of the metal enemies, the metal slimes. So Orpheo's basically at that point right now where he can't overcome their defense, barring a critical hit. So Hermes is lucky though. And we got lucky there too. A critical hit right there that ignores the defense. So, but yeah, if they get to that point and you're fighting them, that you can't hurt them, just run away. So there's a treasure chest there, right there in the middle. In the first game, it had Erdrick's sword in it. Wonder what it'll have in this game. We're gonna avoid that. Will just basically take you to an endless loop. So we're gonna head down this staircase here, and that endless loop. Well, it's not really endless. It basically will loop around and eventually take you to this floor. There's another staircase that goes down to the upper right. That was where that staircase would lead to. So take the staircase up, And this will loop all the way around back to that treasure chest, just like how it did in the first game. And then I'm going to come back down these stairways and take that other stairway to the left. So you want to make sure that Hermes has a slot in his inventory to get this item here. Just use one of our herbs. Unless I could use it. And we'll trade off to her so that trade off to Orpheus so that Hermes has an open slot, because inside he finds the Sword of Odric, which is just like the sword from the first game, in that it has an attack power of 40. So it's a nice throwback to the first game. Unfortunately, it is not the most powerful sword in this game. There are a few other swords that are more powerful than it, but it's a nice throwback. Unfortunately, only Prince Hermes can use the Sword of Odric, even though all of our characters are descendants of Odric and Chicken. I heard in the the guide that I'm using that I'm getting the enemies pictures from is for the Game Boy Color remake of this game, and they said that actually the Prince of Cannock, Orfeo, could use in the remake can use the Odric sword, which is good because, like I said, right now the strongest weapon in this version of the game that the Prince of Cannock can equip is the Iron Spear. So, in Dragon Warrior 1 you went left to right, in this one you go right to left. But either way, it takes you to the bottom floor where, hey, there's the Dragonlord over there. Or somebody who looks like the Dragonlord. I'm going to have to come back here with the golden key, and we want to come back with a little bit later with better levels to get the Step Guard spell. That'll prevent damage from walking on barriers. Welcome, Hermes. All that Hagen decides to take is really mine, for I'm the grandson of the Dragonlord. Defeat Hagen and I will give thee advice. Will thou do this? No. Thou surely art missing thy brain, but it's up to thee. Just tell me that we will defeat Hagen. I mean, that's our goal anyway, so... What advice do you have for us? Once thou hast the 5 crests, seek out the good wizard Rubus, who dwells in the depths of the sea south of Middenhall. Okay. And we'll be back later. First, let's cast the outside spell to get out of here. We'll go heal back up at Tangigel Castle. And we're gonna go, like I said, we made a mental note to come back there to get that treasure. But now we're gonna go seek a different type of treasure. We were told by one of the merchant over there to the left that the pirate ship Relentless sunk in waters to the north of Leonport. So there's that one guy in Leonport who wants the treasure. So let's go pick up that treasure for him. We'll clear some inventory space though by selling that steel sword that has been replaced by Odric's sword. Yeah, inventory is, like I said, really tough to manage in this game because items don't stack. Like in the first game, you know, some items stack, like your herbs and your keys. Not the case in this game. We could free up some inventory by selling that Cloak of the Wind, but I just like to keep it. And eventually, much later on, the princess will get a spell that can open any doors. When you get that spell, you don't need to keep the keys, so you won't need to keep the silver key, the gold key, and then there's another key that comes along the jail key, which opens jail doors. So here we have a palette swap of that the Gorgon monsters. Not as annoying, these Medusa balls. So they pretty much have no defense in terms of like magic. The only spell they can potentially resist is the defeat spell, which is an instant death spell, and they have a 14% chance to avoid that, but other spells like sleep, magical attack spells, all deal basically 100% to it. Speaking of spells, those damage spells, all damage spells, that's all they are. They're just considered damage spells. In future games, the spells will have like families. So you have like the Blizzard family, which would be like Frost, Ice Bolt, Blizzard. Then you have the Blaze spell, which would be like Blaze, Fireball, Blaze More, Blaze Most. Then there's Wind, which is like the Inferno spells. That'll start popping up in the next game, Dragon Warrior 3. But for now, in Dragon Warrior 2, like spells just have the family of damage spells. So enemies won't have specific resistances. So to get the treasure, all you have to do is basically just head north of Leonport, and you'll see a little like a miscoloration in the ocean. And all you have to do is just go underneath it. And we've gotten to a random encounter. But once we're underneath it, just hit the search key. Your character will jump overboard, search, and he will find the treasure. Now we just take it back to Leonport. And we're running into all the sea monsters. We ran into that Man of War, the jellyfish guy there last battle. They can be annoying if they come in large groups because they can put you to sleep with their attacks. It's like their tentacles paralyze you. The sea slugs can also try to put you to sleep, as they're doing right here with their Sweet Breath. Once again, Sweet Breath is not the sleep spell, even though it has the same effect. So those Dragon Banes won't help us avoid that attack, which has a 37.5% chance to land. So, better than 1/3 chance that someone's going to sleep, so... Just... Basically, with 3 characters, probably one of them's going to sleep based on the odds. And in this case, it was Alyssa. Now, with that real low percentage, like I said, that's only like 9.4% chance to go to sleep with the sleep spell. But bad luck with the numbers here, because Hermes just got put to sleep. And he's our big attackers. Taking out those was taking out those Medusa balls in one hit. So, well, now everybody's up, so we can just finish off this sea slug. The seas have the lowest encounter rate of all terrains, which is good because we're going to spend a lot of time on them. They only have a 1.56% chance to spawn. The next lowest would be like a dungeon tile, which is 3.13%, followed by grass and bush, which is 3.91. Forest, desert, swamps, 6.25. Hills, 9.77. And when you transition screens in a dungeon or in the that special horde pit in one dungeon, that's the highest at 32.81. Those are all broken down by like someone who hacked the code. So a link to all that information is on the first in the playlist. It has that stuff. So the link to the document. So Evil Ash 25 made it. So we give this guy the treasure, and he gives us the Echoing Flute. Thanks to thee, I was greatly helped. And what the Echoing Flute does is you don't really have to do this mini quest if you know where all the crests are. You have to find those 5 crests. But if you're playing the game for the first time, this will be invaluable in helping you determine where the crests are. Because people tell you kind of where the crests are, but not specifically. So you get to a certain place, let's say like the, it's in the shrine. So if you just go to a certain shrine, is this the right shrine? Well, play the Echoing Flute, and if you hear the echo, then you know, hey, I gotta search around this place. So, but I'll be pointing out, of course, where all the crests are. So, and that, of course, is our next goal, to start looking for those crests. And we're going to do that by heading back to Alefgard and start jumping around those warp tiles. So, take care, have a good one, hope to see you then in the next episode. Bye.